What up, brothers? It's Clipper King returning, and as promised, I've got the Amazing Spider-Man comparison video. I will just start off by saying I will only be comparing the Hot Toys version of the Amazing Spider-Man and the Medicom version of the Amazing Spider-Man, but for the sake of scale, I've started with also the Spider-Man 3 version of Spider-Man from Hot Toys. So I just wanted to show them all together. Also, I will say I did have the black suit version from Spider-Man 3, and although I've not got it no more, I did sell it. The size and proportions were exactly the same as the red and blue version, and I might be tipping my hat to that, but obviously it won't be in the comparison. I'll also say these are just my thoughts and views. I know some people will have their own already from pictures, or if they already have the figures, so I'm not here to change any minds. I'm just telling you my thoughts, because I watched a comparison video by Dean Knight a couple of nights ago, and he compared the Enter Bay Batman with the Hot Toys Batman at 1/4 scale, and I found it very interesting. I've done it in past with the old original Predator and the classic Predator, just to tell you really what my thoughts were, and some might agree, some might not, some might think I'm talking total bullshit, but some it might be the deciding factor. I will say as well, I promised this video when I have reviewed that this week, and I reviewed that this week, and on one of the videos I promised that I would do a comparison, and since I've been getting about 5 or 6 messages per hour, when are you going to do it, when are you going to do it, is it cut, is it going up, and blah blah blah. So yeah, like I say, my opinion's not definitive, but like I say, it is my opinion. I'm going to cover it and try and do it in categories. So each category you'll know which I prefer, and then I will do a sort of sum up, an overall sort of opinion kind of thing, and what I see from the figures, or what I think the figures would be best for, so to speak. So I'll start off by saying things like the box. Like, bearing in mind I'm only really comparing these, but I will mention the other versions as well. The box, sort of the extras you get, the all-round presentation, the sort of appearance of you've bought something special, goes to the Hot Toys version, and that's a pretty comprehensive win. I will say, out of the 4 versions of Spider-Man that I've had, the one that brought the best extras was the black suit version. That were easy. Got the Tobey Maguire head and the massive Sandman base. This brought the building corner and some webs. This brought a spare head and some webs. This brought nothing really, just some webs. So yeah, if I had to sort of grade them, I would say the black suit would be the better. Then the Spider-Man, probably the Spider-Man, probably the Amazing Spider-Man because of the spare head, then the Spider-Man 3, and then the Medicom would be last. So on stuff like that, obviously I'm not going to mess about getting all the boxes in to show you. If you want to see them, go back to the review of each individual figure and you will see them. But that is, like I say, of the 2, I've given that to the Hot Toys version. Right, while Spider-Man's in, the second category I'm going to score it on is scale. And like I say, just comparing the Hot Toys and the Medicom version of Amazing Spider-Man, but I have put this in for scale, and I am also going to bring in some other figures, do some shortcuts in and arts, and I have devised a scientific method to see if I think they're in scale, and that scientific method is called Top Trumps. So I'll just say before I start, I think this one is too bulky. I always did. Although you can make it look good, you can make it look less so. The sort of the wide looking legs, you can get rid of that appearance by turning the legs inwards on the self, so it slims his legs down. You can sort of shrug his shoulders like up or down to show his shoulders sloping more, but like I've got him in pretty a box style upright position. That's how it was posed, and I pretty much just took it out of the box with the Iron Man where it were, just to show it with the others. So yeah, I think this one is a little bit too bulky, firstly. The new Hot Toys version, I think, is too small. Not massively, but for my taste, or compared to the other figures, I think it's just undersized. I know people are saying, well, Andrew Garfield's this high, and I've looked at his bio and he's this tall and blah blah blah. I just think if you're going to put it in a crowded cabinet full of figures, it's got to sort of stand in line. So I just think it's down there with the women's size figures, and I just think it's undersized. This one, on the other hand, I think is pretty much perfect. That is how I see Spider-Man. And I used to have the Amazing Spider-Man shot on my desktop. When this film was coming out, that was my screensaver. And I've got to say, I think the head to shoulder proportion, the sort of slendering down into the waist section, the muscular athletic physique, not bulky muscular, but like a sprinter type physique. I think Medicom got it really good. I think the scale, the height is really good. So like I said, I'm going to do some blends, and I'm going to show you the scientific technique I came up with to work out the scale. Right, first comparison, and as I say, we're going to get scientific on your ass, and that is what I've done. If we look down here, we've pretty much got our Callum's Top Trumps cards out. Now, Top Trumps are fact. You can't question them. I don't want to hear about Andrew Garfield's bio or fucking Tobey Maguire's or blah blah blah. If Top Trumps gives you measurements or intelligence rating or strength or whatever, Top Trump says it, that is fact. So that's all I need you to know. They have been since I was a kid, and they are still. So height, and this is in centimetres, 183. Spider-Man, 175. Now, if I look back, you'll see the difference. I think the difference is pretty right in them. Taking into account the 1/6 scale, I would think that the overall height is about right on that. On this one, it pretty much looks like Iron Man's taking his son for a walk. He's undersized. Like I say, it's not massively, it's slight. But, yeah, I think if you're going to stand it together, somebody's going to say, small Spider-Man. So, yeah, I'll cut out and we'll do it again. Like I said, bear in mind, the appearance of Top Trumps should take away any arguments. And I know that Top Trumps are fact because they were wrote by Jesus. God did write all Top Trumps, and that's why the facts are undisputable. So, if you looked, the height on Captain America is 186, and again 175 for Spider-Man. You scan back. Yeah, and you've got him just sort of, probably, I don't know, I would say the correct sort of size difference there might be the Hot Toys against the Captain America. This Spider-Man might be oversized towards Captain America. So, and I'm not taking into account who's got bigger boots on or who's got flat slippers on or whatever, who's wearing what helmet. I'm just going on the character to the card, because Hot Toys should know that if they're not referring back to Top Trumps, then they're dropping a proper bollock. So, I don't know. Moving on to Wolverine, and now I have found a discrepancy. If we look at this, it says that Wolverine is 158 against Spider-Man's 175. And as you can see, Wolverine's bigger than both of them. So I'm starting to question this. A little bit confused by the discrepancy on the Wolverine. It says if Hot Toys definitely aren't looking at these Top Trumps, or Top Trumps are inaccurate. Now, I wouldn't like something like that to be said, because my whole philosophy of life were built on Top Trumps. So I definitely wouldn't like there to be any discrepancies. So you see, Nick Fury, 183, Spider-Man, 175. So as we move away. Whoa. Hold on. African American. White man. What the fuck? Top Trumps are full of shit! Right, I'm back. I've got them lying bastard Top Trump cards out of the way, and I'm just going to tell you what I see. I think that's best all around. Don't believe what you see on back of playing cards. Not happy. Anyway, fucking jokes aside, I just think, to my eye, I think the Medicom one would fit in better with your other figures. I think it's... So I'm bearing in mind, you're hardly ever going to stand a Spider-Man straight up like this. You're going to have him sort of in a pose which would show sort of the articulation or the agility side of him. So I don't know. This is pretty much a pose I would use for a Batman figure or something like Captain America, whatever. So I just think this one is more undersized than this one is oversized. So when it comes to scale, I prefer the Medicom one. Next category, I'm going to say the body proportions. Right, again, just looking up and down them, try and keep them both in shot together for you. And now I'm sort of thinking back to that straight up and down poster shot that we got when this film was coming out. I think if I were to cut that picture in, if I've got it, I will do. And then just compare it. I think the body proportions, so I'm looking at sort of the height and width of the head compared to the shoulders, the sort of physique altogether, the shoulder proportions, the appearance of biceps underneath or muscle, same chest down into the abs, lower, and then a strong sort of long-limbed leg sort of thing. You wouldn't want them too compressed and bulky because then it'd look like the other Spider-Man that I've just taken away. Sort of the arm length and just all over the size. The way I would describe it were like this. The Hot Toys version looks like it's a kid, and I'm not talking about a college kid. I'm talking about a young 13-year-old, 14-year-old. That's how he looked. Very undefined, narrow shoulders. The sort of the arms inside, I don't know why they've got a bump here and a bump here. That's never been a bicep or a tricep. Then the arm is very straight. Same down here, no curves or anything like that. Through the body, again, very boyish chest. No appearance of definition. Now, if you look at some of them poster shots, you'll see, obviously the suit is skin tight, it's photoshopped to fuck, and it's like on him. And you would see the abs poking out or the chest proportions and things like that. Again, the long, lean legs. Hot Toys underneath, the body they've used, it's a little bit straight up and down for my liking. It's a little bit too boyish. I keep saying boyish because that's the best way I can describe it. On the flip side, the Medicom one, like I said, sort of got the shoulder muscle there going in. You can see the definition. I think that's done with padding on top of the body. Then the shape of the arm, and that's from the side as well. I think the shape of the arm underneath's good. The forearm, sort of bulky section going down into his wrist. Got nice tight abs, so to speak. Quite a strong looking chest, not bulky chest, but again athletic looking. Down through the abdomen section, and the strong looking upper thigh with the quads sort of there, down over his knee, and then a long sort of lower leg. Only thing I don't like is the lump, sort of the padding lump there, and also there, and then down into his boots. So again, the body proportions for me, I would lean towards the Medicom one. I just think it does look like a superhero in a tight costume, where this one looks like a kid in sort of dress-up costume. That's how it appears to me. Again, I know some will come back and say, well, if you look at this part of the film, it looks like this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm taking all that into account. I know, like I said earlier, it's only a matter of opinion, but to my eye, the Medicom one has the better bodily proportions.